This game seems to have a habit of not saving my progress when I X out of it. So I really should be using the quit function to get out of it. It's like we did Mercury's second story last time. When I came back and booted up the game, it was like one screen back. Which is weird and slightly annoying, but that's okay. The game acknowledges that I've seen it, because I can just skip right through it again. Which is weird, but alright, not that big a deal. Anyways, welcome back. It's time for Thane's second story. Big blinds, big money, big blinds, big shot. So I decided to replace Thane, hiding his death and keeping myself alive for longer. Cool, good plan. There was one eensy-teensy little problem, though. I needed to find out where the V-hole actually was. If I didn't know where to show up, I'd be dead in the water from the jump. Luckily, I had a lot of Thane's shit. Hopefully I could get something useful out of all of that. If I couldn't, well, let's manifest some positive thinking, why don't we? I already broke into the stolen phone, not much of use there. Next up were the burner phones. I had chosen one to try and enter. Unfortunately, I had a password. Well, no matter. In this day and age, a password is really more of a warning sign than a roadblock. I hooked the phone up to my laptop and began to get to work. Oh, by the way, this hacking puzzle has yellow tiles. Hi, Easy! You don't have to be scared of them, they're actually kind of helpful when you think about it. For one, they will always be live. Also, of the 8 tiles surrounding them, left, right, up, down, diagonals, exactly 4 of them will be dead. Isn't that a neat little info gathering tool? Alright, get to it. Oh shit, whoa, what? Oh god. Okay, tile with a number and it must be in a group of tiles exactly that many numberless live tiles surrounded by dead tiles. Dead cells must form one continuous... There cannot be a 2x2 square of dead cells. Must be 4 and only 4 dead tiles within the 8 tiles that orthogonally and diagonally surround a yellow tile. Oh great. Oh god. I didn't expect to be thrown right into a hacking puzzle. Well, this is awkward. I need to remember how these work. Numberless live tiles surrounded by dead tiles. Tile with a number and it must be in a group of exact that many numberless live tiles. So I think this will work for that 4? Maybe? Oh god. Oh god. Okay, so you need to be here. It needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4. The tile is included in the group. I don't think the numbered tile is included, so this is already... This tile is included in the 11 as well, I want to say? Or we just go for the easy path and do that. That would do it. do this, we gotta do that. So 4 of these. Yellow was always alive. 4, 8, 12. Alright, I gotta figure out how to arrange this now. Oh, baby. This was not a challenge I was prepared for. I could just do this. Oh shit. Well, this counts. Maybe. Could count. 8, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you're in. Let's complicate matters over here. Sure, why not? We're just preliminary closing shit off right now. That closes off 4. Gives us 3 dead tiles here, so we'll need to kill 1 more on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that can't work. That's not gonna work. That is not it, dog. Oh boy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That works, but 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. That don't work there, though. Was this awkward? No, that's not gonna work. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But then that goes into there. Which is not ideal. That fulfills the condition of the yellow tiles here. Not here, though. Oh. No, that's not going to work. No, that's not going to work either. I mean, I could do that, but... Oh shit, I need to take one back here. You need a game. You need one more space over here. I'm not sure how to give you that. You can do that. Does it have to be continuous? What's the trouble here? Well, that kind of does a trick. 8, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That works, but ain't. Oh wait, it ain't continue. No, no. Oh god. I feel like this has to be here. But how do I move you around enough to... That works, but that gives us 2 failure points. Alright, we are getting somewhere? Or... can do this, which gives us... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. go back here. Five. Oh, I need to take one of these back. How do we do that? Wait, 12. We need to take 2 spaces away from you. Getting there. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, that's way too much. Like that needs to be there. See, that works. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 8, 9, 10. Five. Okay, this yellow tile, we've met the condition. And we've got the 9 in here. Oh, fuck. We still need one more. We still need to give one more space to this guy. Ugh. How do we go about fixing this? I do not know. Like that maybe, but that takes away... These lines need to be all continuous, right? Ugh. It's frustrating. I think we've got this. 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 4, 3, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 4. 4. It looks like. Yeah, we got it. Voila. Here we go. I spent some time browsing the phone. Most important information to learn was the address of the V-Hall. Since I was already into the phone's code, it wasn't hard to access the locations this phone frequently visited. Cross-referencing that with some past texts, I was able to get an address. Lucky me. Going through the rest of the phone, I read through and subsequently memorized as much information as I could. It was only giving me a partial picture, but at least I have something of a cheat sheet for Thane's life. I had some building blocks as they were. Wanted to look through a lot more than I did, but Yi said I needed to get to the V-Hall ASAP, and I already wasted a lot of time. There was one thing, however, that brought me a great deal of unease. In the contacts page, Thane named this phone Duat burner phone. So then if this was the Duat burner phone, what was the other phone? For personal use. But you didn't really need a burner phone for personal stuff. I mean, maybe if you were super paranoid about privacy. That could be Thane. This could be nothing to worry about. But again, why would you bring your personal contact phone in your assassin's briefcase? Maybe I was overthinking things. Maybe that other burner phone was important. Wanted to crack that other phone, but again, time crunch. So going to my first Duat meeting, what did I want to bring? Something told me bringing the full silver suitcase to something like this was the wrong approach. Or maybe it wasn't? Was Thane the type to never go anywhere without his suitcase? I couldn't tell. So in that case, what could I talk my way out of? If Thane usually has a suitcase, it'd be easier to explain why he doesn't have it. If he usually doesn't have it, bringing it to the V-Hall is going to be a really, really bad idea. So the suitcase was out. But what about a pistol? That felt reasonable to bring. Or maybe not? Like the suitcase, bringing weapons might be taboo. Besides, I wasn't exactly a pro marksman. It was a question of how useful a pistol would actually be to me. If I had to use it, it'd probably already be too late. Just having a gun afforded me options. The threat of it and all. And again, maybe it'd be weird for Thane to be without a gun. Ultimately, I used the same decision-making process as I did with a suitcase. Easier to explain a lack of a gun than a presence of one. So I was going to go into the belly of the beast completely unarmed, with only a quarter of the knowledge it needed to pull off a successful disguise. Awesome. Well, better to rip off the bandage. Made my way over to the V-Hall. I exited the hotel my usual way. Out the storage closet, down into the sewer. Made my way through the sewers to the other side of the city. The V-Hall, from what I could tell, used to be a production facility. That is, until it was purchased by Olimpo, then let go. The actual owner of the land was in limbo, but through some circumstances, the Duats owned it. Now all the actual machinery that went into it had been disposed of, and it had served as the Duat central lair for some time. Again, playing into the idea that all three of these entities are interlinked: Olimpo, the Duats, and Governor Aisha. This was some pretty good info. Not super key info, mind you. This is where members hung out, so naturally it was a little too conspicuous to keep anything truly damning. But still, in terms of understanding the layout of Panthea, it was a good piece to tuck away. I tried to walk through the sewer with some amount of urgency. I was still too sore to break into a full sprint. However, I hadn't yet figured out where Thane usually lives, so I didn't know how long it would be reasonable for Thane to take. Eventually, I got close enough to the location. Climbed out of the sewer and walked the last bit above ground. There, that building must be the V-Hall. From outside, it looked pretty run down. Probably the intent, huh? Helped keep a low profile. Alright, no turning back now. I approached the building and with a sense of confidence. I was Thane, after all. Nothing in this building should give me any pause. I was a senior officer. I went right up to the front entrance and opened the door. Not locked, huh? Well, the guard standing right by the door probably had something to do with that. Also, it's not like anyone would be stupid enough to enter a place like this if you weren't a Duat yourself. Wait. Hey, Thane. Wait a minute. Before me was a leather jacket-clad Duat member. A grunt, if I was placing it right. Accustomed to frontline work. I didn't know the guy's name, so I simply nodded. This seemed to pass for him. Thank God Thane was the way he was. Playing a silent-type character really was a lot easier. Alright then. Let's be sure what's the password. And what was with people asking regulars to give passwords? Actually, considering I was hiding my face, it was probably fair in my case. Luckily, this was one piece of info I'd actually gleaned. Fortunate for me, the password changed pretty recently. Worried about leaks. Huh. To speak the name of the dead is to make him live again. Cool, cool. I had to say, it was a pretty wordy password phrase. Didn't quite get the purpose behind it. Apparently it had been assigned by Marduk. Maybe that gave me some insight into his mind. But if it did, I couldn't define it. Oh no, I'm afraid I gotta pat you down. Put your hands and arms out, if you please. Fine. I feigned annoyance at this as I complied, but honestly the only thing that passed through my mind was relief. I had made the right call. Had I a pistol on me right now, things would have been a lot more awkward. So as being examined, I got a better look at the inside of this facility. It was pretty big, all things considered. This was an open-air area, with a lot of members congregated. In a previous life, I guessed this was a factory area. Along the walls, a number of doors and hallways to other sections of the facility lined the walls. And there I saw a familiar face. He approached me, a smile on his face. Here we go. Thane! Good to see you, good to see you. Say, what are you doing letting this scrub pat you down like this? Huh? Senior officers are exempt from body checks, dipshit. Thane, why did you subject yourself to that? Fuck. Seriously, leather jacket, you had to do me like this? You had to fuck up in a way that would out me? I'd just gone through the door and already I couldn't catch a break. Fuck me, seriously, just fuck me. Was waiting to see if this one would catch on to it himself. I said that with as much menace as I could muster. Need to lean on one of Thane's biggest advantages, his threatening aura. Seemed to work on this punk, at least. I'm so sorry, sir. I wasn't really thinking. See, I don't usually have guard duty, so... Is that your excuse? He looked to me, and then to the grunt before me, then back to me with a slight smile on his face. Oh, give the kid a break, Thane. I'm sure he gets the picture. Right, pal? He gave Leather Jacket a friendly punch on the shoulder. Of course, totally. Let the silence linger for a second longer. Don't do it again. And like that, I began to walk into the lion's den. He casually strode beside me. Hopefully that bluster had successfully gotten the heat off of me. Ah, Thane, why did you always have to pick on the tykes like that? Did I? Awesome. You really that much of a sadist? Do it just for kicks? I merely shrugged. The problem I had right now is that I wasn't quite sure how to approach he. I hadn't quite pegged their relationship. In theory, they were both senior officers. So then, were they colleagues? There was more to it than that, though. I need to pick up on Yee's vibes to understand how to proceed. A shrug was non-committal enough that it wouldn't get me in any hot water. Say, what took you so long to get here? What, you fall in the toilet or something? So I guess I was late. As to be expected, I suppose. I did take a while. But I must not have been too late. You caught me at a bad time. Got here before the meeting began, didn't I? Ah, you got me there. Good, so you didn't feel like pushing the issue. That's a good sign for me. Another person walked over to Yi and I. It was a woman with red hair and glasses. Hey Yi, Thane, how you two on this lovely day? Lara? You are... Lara? I'm doing just fine, got a good night's sleep. We love that, great to hear. Oh no. Well. And you, Thane? Fine. Good. At first glance, things seemed fine. However, Lara was very good at hiding her true intent. I was pretty good at reading body language, and it was clear that Lara was extremely uneasy about Thane. She didn't want to bring it up, but something about him made her nervous. Maybe it was the fact that she tried... This throws a wrinkle in things. This throws a wrinkle in Mercury's story. Because Mercury just met Lara. What the devil? What the devil? She didn't want to bring it up, but something about him made her nervous. I thought back. Ah, yes, of course. I actually knew why Lara was nervous around Thane. Well, all the better for me. Nervous people were less likely to push issues. Oh. Do anything interesting this weekend, Lara? Ah, if only. I'm too boring to do much, unfortunately. I fall into regular patterns. I feel you there, sister. Nowadays, I'm more and more inclined to curl up at home with a good book. Feels like I'm becoming an old man. What about you, Thane? Didn't do anything worth talking about. Yeah, that figures. Oh, what do you guys think this meeting is going to be about? Marduk's really hard to get a beat on. Ah, well. Why speculate when you're going to have the meeting in a few minutes anyways? I'd actually like to speculate, ye? If I knew what I was getting into, I could better prepare. Because it's fun, silly. Just trying to make conversation. I suppose. My problem is that it's not like we have much to go on. Marduk's always been a man of whims, even more so these days. For all we know, he could have called us here on a random impulse. You know, I actually like that in a man. Someone willing to do what they want, when they want. There's a sort of confidence fitting up for our head. Hey, don't get me wrong. Far be it for me to question our supreme leader. Just saying that guessing what the meeting's about is going to be hard. There aren't exactly any recent events worth discussing. Though, failing that, it could really be about anything. That's so. No recent events worth discussing, you think? Nothing comes to my mind. Anything come to yours, Lara? No. I can't say that anything does, unfortunately. At this point, 2 other Duat members locked over. Oi, Lara, how's it going? Everything work out with your apartment? Oh, hey, guys. My apartment's fine, but thanks for asking. Really, I was just bitching about nothing problems. You don't have to worry about that. What about you two? Have you gone to see your sister yet? Not yet, I'm afraid. What? Why? I'm afraid she's gonna be mad at us. Seriously? You two did all this work to pay for her surgery. She'll be thrilled to see you. Even if she's really mad about how you got that money, it's still worth just going down there and hashing it out in person. Oh, you're right. As always. Look, we'll try and head down there whenever I get some free time. That's the spirit. The burlier men then took a second to look around at Yi and me. So what are you doing hanging around with these two? Well, old man Yi here was asking for my help. I was teaching him how to set up his iPhone. The lack of buttons confuses him. The others snickered pretty heavily at this. Yi, on the other hand, strained to keep a grinning face. These guys have a different metric for burns, or... Oh, Lara, you... If you spent less time working on your stand-up and more time working for the Duats, you wouldn't have had to get on your knees to stay a single senior officer. Begging isn't a pretty look. Oh, but Yi... If I did more of your work, what would you have to lecture the rest of us about? More snickers. Different senses of humor, I guess. That moment, a tall, lumbering figure walked into the room. I didn't think much of it at the time, but instantly when he entered, everybody else shut up. At first I thought that was because this guy must have had a high rank. However, after analyzing the situation a few seconds more, I realized that the real reason why his presence brought the conversation to a halt. This man had come for the conspicuously prestigious-looking door along the wall of this open area. Unlike all the other doors and rooms of this place, where I saw people coming and going from them, this one had been completely devoid of visitors so far. I could make an educated guess as to what that room was. It was the office of the head of this whole operation. Marduk's room. The next words spoken confirmed my suspicions. Marduk's ready for you. Bag directed this comment at the 3 of us. Uh-oh, the senior officers. The feeling things were behaving a bit too chummy around here. Better not keep old Marduk waiting. Definitely don't want to keep him waiting. Such a hassle when he's in a grumpy mood. Ah, well. So we'll get this over with. Here's hoping today's meeting will be painless. Makes 2 of us, Yi. Doubt it. Why are you two always such Debbie Downers? Being the boss isn't supposed to be a bad thing. At least if you've been doing your job properly. Oh? If that's the case, why do you look so chipper? Laura let out a little chuckle. Oh, ye. You're always such a tease. That's me, all right. Real jokester. Just I dreaded entering that office, the real Thane would probably say something along the lines of, did we not just talk about not keeping Marduk waiting? Yeah, we're getting to it, Thane. He's always so edgy with the whole Marduk situation. Totally. Thane, you should really learn to lighten up. We should go for drinks sometime. I know a super cool place, one of our operations. Didn't that den run into a spot of trouble recently? Oh, that was nothing. It's back on its feet already. Let's meet with Marduk first. Afterwards we can discuss future plans, if you'd like. Got it. With that prompting, we finally began to make our way to Marduk's office. With Laura being introduced during Mercury's story, and imposter Thane, knowing why Laura might be feeling edgy around Thane, I think that kind of answers one of our questions about from part 1 of quote-unquote Thane's story. Specifically the one bonus poll I put up on Thane's story. The bet is that if our disguise lasts, I think 2 more episodes? So... the other question was, is this Thane Mercury? And it's starting to look like yes, it is. I didn't know what to expect going in. Honestly, I didn't expect to get this far. Things have been going pretty well so far. But so far I was just coasting along on the easier stuff. Things I had some idea how to tackle. But a meeting with Marduk. What was Marduk even like? How much did he know? What was Thane's connection with Marduk like? I knew some things about Marduk. Some things most people didn't even know. Nothing that felt like it helped me in this situation. More importantly, it was the nature of this meeting that frightened me. It wouldn't be for conversation. It would be for business. Business discussions tended to be details heavy. Details were the last thing I was looking for right now. Whatever. I just have to bullshit my way through this. Play to my strengths. Gotten this far, hadn't I? Into the room I went. Marduk's office was. Ooh, nice. It was quite nice. There were several desks displaying a variety of neat knickknacks. In the corner, a big potted plant grew. On the left wall, there were these windows which let light blue light pour into the room, which was otherwise unlit. The only lighting being faint natural light, creating an odd but not unpleasant atmosphere. In the center of the room, there were 2 couches with a small glass table separating the 2 of them. One was completely empty, and the other, Marduk sat down. So there he was, the head of the Duats. He certainly had an aura about him. I could tell by the age in his face that he was well past his prime. If I had to guess, well, I didn't have to guess. He was deceptively old. I say deceptively because he honestly looked pretty good. Sure, he was bald, but his sideburns didn't have a single white hair in them. I'd guess he was dyeing them if I didn't know this man's character better than that. He still possessed a hulking figure, enough to exude clear dominance. His arms were the size of logs of wood. If you stood him side by side with Fang, he wouldn't look that much shorter or frailer than the behemoth. Who knows how intimidating this guy was in his prime? This was the man who could lead the Duats with an iron fist. Who could lead them through multiple gang wars. Who could lead them to complete Panthean control. Complete Panthean saturation. This was a man who could still be the undisputable kingpin after being so far past his prime. Instantly, I was struck by the same feeling of awe that every other Duat member felt. Without moving a singular muscle, Marduk spoke to us in a low growl. Took you long enough. Oh, sorry, sir, we were a little busy dealing with some of your troops. Grunts are more worthy of your time than me. Of course not. We tried to get here as fast as we reasonably could. But obviously it's important to keep the will of the people on our side. Wouldn't want to be dismissive to them. Very good. The smile on Laura's face took a slightly pointed look. Clearly in her mind, she had just scored a point against Yi. Sit. You didn't need to tell us twice. Yi sat on the far left of the couch. Laura let me pass by her before sitting down. Just wanted me to be a buffer between her and Yi. Laura? Yes, sir? How are you faring these days? Me? Doing just peachy, sir. Living life to the fullest. A slight smile crossed Marduk's face. Good, good. Youth is a time to be lived to the fullest. How are you spending your free time? Well, there's so many vices to choose from, sir. A little gambling here, a little drinking there. Of course, all in healthy moderation. Naturally. And naturally, none of this has distracted you from your Duat work. Not at all, sir. True proficiency has never been as high, thanks to yours truly. Good to hear. How do you do it, I wonder? Oh, that? Who wouldn't want to live a life full of violence and degeneracy? Really, the work sells itself. At this, Marduk even let out a little chuckle. I'm sure you have your ways. I'm happy to provide them. If you want, I could even motivate Thane for you. Suddenly, Marduk's expression turned sour. And what, pray tell, do you mean by that? Even without directly looking at her, I noticed the freeze in Laura's face. Realization in that, in her playful manner, she had accidentally stepped on a landmine of some kind. However, like a professional, she only stayed frozen for a second. Well, you know, just trying to help out around. Thane can be, well, a little robotic in nature. Sir. Right, Thane? Laura playfully punched me on the shoulder. I just stayed silent. Not getting involved in this one. So I was just offering to try and make him a bit more enthusiastic. His response had not impressed Marduk. Given the nature of this job, I would imagine a certain amount of gravitas is healthy. But it is you, Laura, and your seemingly upbeat attitude would sooner have called into question. Yes, of course, sir. Laura was now full-on looking directly down, unable to maintain eye contact. Marduk, however, felt content to keep staring at Laura for a couple more seconds. Then, like a predator after his next prey, his attention turned to Yi. Yi? Yes, sir. I could hear a tint of optimism in Yi's response. Clearly, Laura's blunder there had filled him with confidence. How are the Duats looking? We have never been better, sir. Last 2 months we have seen a 13% increase of revenue, which, as I'm sure you know, is pretty much unheard of. We've had minimal complaints and have yet to run into any significant issues since our last meeting. Except, of course, the Milo situation. Well, yes. That was a minor setback, but as you know, we've dealt with that situation, I would say, with grace and aplomb. And later today, even we'll be putting a close on the whole thing. See to it that you handle things delicately. Of course, sir. Speaking of issues, I also heard whispers of a gathering of locals discontent with our organization not too long ago. He paused, a slightly confused look plastered onto his face. If I had to guess, he might have been wondering how Marduk even knew about this gathering in the first place. There was a slight kerfuffle, yes, but I dealt with the matter appropriately. Didn't think it was worth bringing to your attention. Just because you dealt with it, Yi, does not mean the situation is dealt with. It means that we are reaching a critical mass of bad will with the civilians, and you know what that means. Sir, if you would, I think you may be focusing on the wrong things. Yes, there are a few hiccups, but there are comparatively fewer issues than there were in the past, despite our increased presence. That is an achievement to be celebrated. We have raked in an incredible amount of cash. We've already begun making preparations for our next wash, and it's only been a year and a half. Wait, the Duats only wash their money every few years? And in singular bulks? Speaking of cash influx, I have 3 new proposals for new revenue streams I'd like to get your approval on whenever we have the chance. As for risk assessment, we still have our police contacts, so that angle is covered. This one's been far more cooperative than the last, and more effective. Seth. Our intelligence network has yet to report any significant threats to the Duats. Recruitment numbers haven't been this high for decades. We're on an upward swing, sir. After Yi's pitch, Marduk let the silence linger for a couple of seconds. Very well, then. Keep up the good work. I could almost hear an audible sigh from Yi. Finally, Marduk turned to me. Ah, fuck. My turn. Was fearing this. Thane? There was a coldness in Marduk's voice. Have you been doing your duties appropriately? Yes. Yes? A flare of indignation in Marduk's voice instantly let me know how I had fucked up. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Marduk's stare was hardened. Looked like he might break into a tirade before long, so I did something that felt incredibly counterintuitive. I kept talking. All tasks assigned to me have been completed with total success. I performed all my duties to the perfect satisfaction. Additionally, I've also spent my off time performing additional activities beneficial to our cause. Proper bullshitting. Good job. I have no outstanding incidents to report. Ooh. I had fucking no idea if that would pass. I really was just going for it there. Good. Thank God. So, Thane. Are you going to ask to be relieved of the Black Mask? Huh? What did that mean? I had to read between the lines quickly. Thinking about it for a minute, the icon of the Black Mask was a pretty risky proposition. It's a visible sign of being one of the Duats' most feared enforcers. It's the type of position that probably wouldn't be envied. It was weird for such a high-ranking member to take such a risk. Especially when... Especially when, functionally speaking, anyone could don the outfit. Given the tone Marduk had asked the question, no. The brief look of surprise on Marduk's face told me I was going down the right path. Maybe the old Thane was trying to get out of the Duats. I believe there aren't many Duat members who could perform the Black Mask's duties as efficiently as me. Additionally, I wish to earn being relieved of the Black Mask. As of now, I don't think I have. Silence lingered in the air. Shit, had I said too much? Every second Marduk didn't respond, my heart dropped an inch. Good. Very good. I was worried you weren't ever going to understand. However, it seems like you've finally come around. Yi, is Thane correct in his self-assessment? How has he been performing? I think Thane was pretty much right on the money. So is Laura going to sell us out? As far as I've seen, he's been doing his job pretty much perfectly. Marduk nodded at this solemnly. Well then, keep it up, Thane. You know there was a time when you were set to inherit the Duats. I earnestly hope that before I pass, you can reclaim that right. Ooh. Thank you, sir. I hesitated saying this because I was keenly aware of the looks I had just been given by both Laura and Yi. Neither of them had been pleasant. But that wasn't my biggest concern at the moment, because a pretty horrid thought just crossed my mind. Thane was defined by the Black Mask and the outfit, which means that theoretically, multiple people could don the getup and pass for Thane. Hell, that was what I was doing. If that's the case, who's to say I actually killed the real Thane? I mean, by the sound of it, Marduk had Thane being the sole owner of the mask. And also by the sound of it, it seemed as though Thane was not a fan of this arrangement. He was a senior officer. Fuck, I had no idea what he really looked like. Man, I buried. That was definitely Thane, right? No, I was just delving into conspiracy theories. I was fine. I killed the real Thane. They were definitely dead and buried in that forest. If I thought otherwise, I'd drive myself insane. As I worried over this, Marduk stood up, began to pace, making his way to the windows. As I've been doing less frontline work, I've had a lot of time to think about things. Bigger things. I know plenty of people are criticizing how the Duats have been acting of late. They say we've been too brutal, too ambitious. Those people are like total idiots. They don't get anything. Yes, completely worthless. If I hear any talk like that, you can count on me to set them straight, sir. I'm talking now. When I want your input, I'll ask for it. Lara and Yi both winced. Something told me that being the silent type was a pretty big boon in this meeting. These people have a point. We're in an age of unprecedented expansionism. But there's a reason for that. I've led the Duats for a long time now. Been with them through 2 full-on gang wars, and a minor civil one. I've been through highs and painful lows, ones low enough to almost break the Duats outright. And throughout it all, I learned a single important truth. Tides rise and tides fall. Success can be temporary. You'll never know when the next storm will come, and how much damage it'll do. Marduk had returned to the couch and sat back down. But there's another truth. Power begets power. And there's a critical mass, one we're close to. If the Duats get big enough, then no matter what comes, we will stand strong. We're already almost there. This push I've been spearheading, it's not mindless. Brutality we're seeing, it's temporary. The bleeding will stop. When it is finished, the Duats will be reforged. Our house will be made of bricks, as it were, never to topple again. I do this not out of some vain sense of legacy, nor of selfish greed. It is because the Duats must stand strong. They are important. They are important to every dumb kid without a chance in life, doomed to poverty. They are important to every person who's made mistakes and has nowhere else to go. In this world, there are a few key ways in which you can succeed, traditionally. If you're lucky enough to be born wealthy, or born with a natural intellect, or in rare cases, stunning beauty, you can get ahead. But failing that, you're doomed. That is the Duat's most fundamental purpose. To be another way to gain power. Traditional society may not value strength or brutality, but that's because traditional society doesn't reward it. I say the path to riches should be open to all. The Duats must be that path to those afforded to no other ones. Until the path may stay strong, so too must the Duats. And for the Duats to weather whatever storm comes, they must have complete control. Complete power. So then how should we do it? At this, Marduk paused. Excuse me, sir. I'm asking you, my senior officers, highest-ranked members. We've been ambitious up until now, but we're not there yet. Let us strike while the iron is hot. How would you propose we increase our power? Marduk let this question linger in the air. Clearly, it was a very important one to Marduk. Giving the right answer was very important to the others. He was the first to speak up. Well, sir, no man can buy back his past, but he can surely buy his future. It's an ironclad rule that under a capitalistic rule, money is the purest form of power. If you were to ask me, the best way we could secure Duat rule is to continue what we have been doing. Increase our revenue. As I mentioned, I already have a few proposals for this that I think you'd be interested in. Eventually, if we keep breaking in more and more, we'll have enough raw cash to move mountains. In my opinion, the strongest walls are made of dollar bills. So your answer is to simply continue how we are. The path to unbreakable power is incremental change. Such a response is utterly lacking in the drive needed to truly bend this city to our will. And just like that, Marduk rebuffed Yi completely. Hoping to take advantage of Yi's failure, Laura pitched an idea of her own. As you've so intelligently pointed out, sir, we've already got money. We should be looking for what we don't have. Right now, that's the people's support. You know what also has complete control? The government. History class has always taught me that the governments get their power from the consent of the people. Think if we spent a little bit of our cash back on the community, in some key places, that'd go a long way. I believe in the power of the people. So your plan would have us seek approval from the masses. Naive. A true gang can never really receive widespread support from civilians. Not true support, the type that matters. People's respect is difficult to capture and harder still to utilize. People's fear, on the other hand, is far more reliable. It seemed as though Lara's pitch was also something of a swing and a miss. Oh well, Lara. You did your best. Well, what have you got then, Thane? With all eyes on me, I realized I was the last to offer my opinion. Ah, shit. Should've been thinking about this while the others went, shouldn't I have? Well, whatever. Just need to be a good enough proposal. We should stay the course. Excuse me. Power is useful. Nobody denies that. However, power attracts envy. It attracts enemies. If we did achieve true dominance, it might help us from the threats of the past. It would attract entirely new threats, ones we could not handle so easily. We should shore up our defenses, sure, but to keep expanding so recklessly, it only invites someone to dethrone us. And if somebody does come threatening the Duats, we will break their nose and throw them in the dirt, like we do to all our enemies. True power is the ability to resist the jealous and the hateful. To strive for less in the fear of the problems it may bring is simple cowardice, plain and simple. Well, that could have gone better. Would have been feeling pretty shitty right now had Marduk not rebuffed Yi and Lara's ideas as well. Seems like we had all failed whatever test Marduk was presenting before us. Marduk sighed deeply, putting his head in his hands. He was not happy with this result. Of course you all can't see the true vision. Then Marduk lifted up his head and rolled his neck. There's only one person who truly understands my will, and they aren't in this room. At this, Yi and Lara both tensed up until Marduk continued. The fact that they will not join the Duats is a tragedy. Instead, I'm left with a lot of you. As I grow weaker and feebler, all I built up will fall to the hands of one of you. Can any of you truly hold up such a burden? Will you be able to live up to the great expectations thrust upon you? I doubt it. None of us knew how to respond to this. We all just avoided Marduk's gaze. Jeez. Wasn't even a Duat and I was feeling pretty dejected by Marduk. This was how he treated his senior officers. Part of me was surprised there hadn't yet been a mutiny. Although a part of me understood completely. Marduk spoke and moved with such an air of superiority that even I wanted nothing but his approval. Marduk let out a long sigh. And perhaps that's why we failed. Because we were all looking for his approval. Every day that I move closer to my death, I look back and miss the days that have passed me by. I long for those older days. Back when I was still in action. I still remember my tenure as a serpent with pristine clarity. When I was powerful, when I could do things for myself, when I was building something. Nowadays I build and build and build this group more and more. It's never enough. I fear it won't be enough, not before I go. All I get from my efforts is spite and vitriol from others. This was awkward. None of us really knew quite what to say to Marduk at this point. We just had to, sit there until he was ready to let us go. Reminded me of being reprimanded by my parents. Wasn't a good reminder. However, at this point, Marduk looked at us and realized this listless ranting wasn't exactly going anywhere productive. He let out one final sigh and switched gears. This isn't the time for such words. They should be reserved for a deathbed, and I certainly have a few more strong years within me. You all look dejected. Disheartened that you've all failed to gain my approval. Well, there's nobody to blame for that but yourselves. If you wish to remedy the situation, then I have a simple command for you. Be better. Be better. Very simple sentence, yet I could feel the force behind those words. He wasn't just saying that lightly. None of you are senior officers haphazardly. You all have greatness within you, I can sense it. I could very well see any one of you becoming someone worthy of succeeding the Duats. I have to someday become that person, sir. Agreed. I'll be sure to keep on striving to be a more worthy leader, just like you strive to improve the Duats. I decide to stay silent for now. Very well, then. I just called you here to check in on you. We should have more regular meetings of the senior officers. Please don't. For now, just continue as you are. Yi, we can discuss those proposals of yours for additional revenue streams at some later date. Knowing you, I'm sure they'll be fine, but I still want to look them over. Of course, sir. Then there was an awkward pause. After a few moments, Marduk spoke up once more. You were all dismissed. With this, he waved his fingers outwards. We didn't need to be told twice. He, Lara, and I all got to our feet and began to leave the office. That could have gone better. For Thane, that is. What did this mean for me? Specifically in terms of the whole getting away from the Duats angle of thing. Hard to say. Clearly there was a struggle over who would inherit the leadership of the Duats. I could surmise Thane at one point was in the lead, but for some reason messed up massively and is now in last place. However, Marduk still wants, on some level, Thane to succeed him. I guess? At the end there, it felt like he thought nobody would be truly fitting to succeed him. And to some extent, I had to agree. I mean, fuck the Duats and all. As far as I could tell, neither Lara nor Yi really carried Marduk's will with them. If either took charge of the gang, it would undoubtedly go a drastically different direction. And if Thane took charge? Let's not consider that. Although, on that note, what would happen if Marduk happened to die in the near future? Did he have some sort of will proclaiming who should succeed him? If there was such a thing, would it even be acknowledged by the others? No doubt if Marduk made a decision and publicly passed the leadership of the Duats to one of the senior officers in front of everybody, the others would have to just grind their teeth and accept it. But a will? Or, here's a scarier thought. What if there wasn't something like that? Would it just devolve into a straight-up civil war? It seemed possible enough. A part of me wondered if this ambiguity was intentional on Marduk's part. If the fate of the Duats was in the air, undecided, it would be difficult for any particularly ambitious figures to try and speed up the process. As we exited the room, Yi draped his arm over my shoulder. Then in a low voice he spoke. Oh, don't let him get you down, you too down, Thane. He'll keel over and die soon enough. That he steered our walking to a nearby room at the side of the wall. I noticed Lara giving us a side-eye look as we walked in this direction. However, she didn't say anything, which meant I had no excuse. I had to walk with Yi right on over to this unknown door. Entering, I was instantly awash in a completely different vibe from Marduk's office. There would be 5 lamps all around, each completely superfluous. Draped around the ceiling were some Christmas lights. Whether they were still up out of laziness or deliberate aesthetic, I couldn't tell. In the center of the room was a wooden table with a couple knocked-over beer cans and poker chips atop it. Surrounding said table was a couch far dirtier than Marduk's, alongside a few chairs and a beanbag couch. On the other side of the room, I saw a pinball machine sitting right next to a couple of familiar arcade cabinets. I also spotted a pool table at the back of the room. Atop it was an out-of-place gold-flecked vase. Sitting next to the door we had entered was a tiny mini-fridge with a microwave haphazardly lying atop it. I knew what this was. This was a bona fide man cave. Guess even violent gangs had hangout spots like this. There were 3 other men already inside the room. Previously seen Goliath, a heavyset man with a horrible fashion sense, and a younger guy wearing far too much denim. Oh, hey, Zouchi. So, Yi, how was the meeting? About what could be expected. The she-bitch was Frenching the boss's ass. Meanwhile, Marduk proved his growing senility. This one kind of took the cake, though. Towards the end, I legitimately thought he was in a different time zone. Almost felt a bit bad for him. The elderly's loss of reality is a truly horrifying prospect. apparently not that horrifying if you're willing to joke about it like this. Wow. Must have been bad for you to feel bad for the old man, huh? Almost, I said almost. Was anything of use accomplished in the meeting? If anything of use was accomplished, Fang, I would have said so, okay? No, as a matter of fact, he just came in to talk shit. Asked us for ideas to expand Duat prison, then dismissed all of our ideas out of hand. I mean, Lara's was pretty stupid, and Thane's non-committal, so I understood dismissing those two. His only response to my proposal was that it wasn't thinking big enough. The fuck am I supposed to say to that? He didn't even get around to hearing out my proposals. Not your precious proposals. Oh, jeez, what are we gonna do without your friggin' proposals? We're really in trouble now. The two snicked to themselves. You two having fun over there? Done mocking the guy actually getting shit done? Oh, come off it, Dee. We're just having a bit of a laugh. You have to admit you got a bit of a stick up your ass about these plans. Haha, yeah, well. You guys are gonna make fun of me for having a stick up my ass when Duat bought 3,000 is sitting right here. He thumbed over at me. For my part, I just stayed silent. Yeah, that's no fun. At least cross your arms and be threatening. Have fun with it, Thane. Yeah, Thane never reacts to shit. Kinda sucks the fun out of making fun of him, you get it? So sorry about that. Oh, sarcasm. Your router must have gotten an update. That metaphor didn't make sense. Ah, that's more like it. Hey, we're being a convincing Thane. Fang turned to Yi, trying to keep the conversation on track. Even if nothing of much of substance was discussed, it was still a meeting of the senior officers. Those are far from meaningless. How is the war progressing? At this, Yi took a long pause. He seemed to seriously be weighing the question. Well, a wash. Lara's ass-kissing definitely backfired a time or two, but if I'm being honest, I don't think I was exactly killing it in the old man's eyes either. Honestly, if it wasn't for his last dance, I would have said Thane was the one who got the most out of today. Sure. Never sure how to pronounce that name. Finished with the beer he was drinking, threw his can at the nearby trash can. He missed, and the can bounced off to lie with a half-dozen other misses. Are we gonna have to seriously start wondering what we're gonna do if Lara gets the Duat headship? If that happens, we're all sort of fucked. Oh, please. I don't need to be scared about something that won't happen. Worry often gives a small thing to a big shadow. Sure, that she-bitch might be a bit more popular with the grunts. Even without half his wits, Marduk still doesn't respect shallow shit like that. He has, and will always prioritize results. He knows who brings him his cash. He knows who's served him the best. Then Yi punched me on the shoulder. And besides, it's 2-on-1. That girl ain't got a chance in hell. Little speech elicited some cheering from Zhaoqi and Sha. However, it just brought me some concern. I don't know whether or not Yi meant it to be explicit. I saw the look he gave me back in Marduk's office. He didn't want to stop Lara from claiming the Duat headship. He wanted the headship. Could I really trust Yi? Well, from everything I could tell, the real Thane trusted Yi. So I guess I had to follow suit with that. Oh, gentlemen, how have you been? What's been going on in your rich personal lives? Not much with me. Sha's acting more like a dipshit, more of a dipshit than usual. Got in a fight recently. You two in a fight? You don't say. Sha shot Zhaoqi a dirty look. Yeah, well, she sent me a text this morning saying that she was going to be blowing off work because she didn't want to see me. Seriously, she's just not gonna not do Duat work. Forget her. She's a major buzzkill anyways. I'm sure she'll get over herself before too long. What about you, Zhaoqi? How have you been? Oh, great, yay, not great indeed. It's a whole weekend trying to get some action, but I'm sad to say it was to no avail. I've seen your sprite, Zhaoqi. You don't say. It's the whole Duat thing. Women say they like bad boys, but it only goes so far. Yeah, definitely the Duat thing holding you back. Excuse me. What exactly are you trying to say, buddy? Whoa, easy there, Zhao. Sha's just trying to get under your skin. Head in my fashion style all you want, pal. We'll see who history favors. Thang, how have you been? How's your life been? Uneventful. I'm working on my latest piece. It's almost finished. Eh? Really? I'd love to see it when you're done. Where do you even do the sculpting, Thang? I can't imagine you've got a space for it in your apartment. I've got my ways. Okay, man, just asking you a simple question. Don't need to get all ominous about it. That's Fang's way, Sha. You gotta respect it. Finally, he turned over to me. Well then, what about you, Thane? How have you been spending your free time? Personal question. Great. I couldn't be asked to be clever. It's gonna take the easy way out. Take a guess. Oh, fuck off. Anyone ever tell you you're no fun, Thane? Yes. You. Ha! You got me there, bud. You gave me a friendly pat on my shoulder. Oh, what have you been doing? Hope it hasn't been too exhausting. Because tonight, we are dealing with the Milo problem. We need you to be on top form for that. Oh, awesome. Weekend meetings, I have to tag along for an actual Duat mission. Couldn't wait. Taking a ride on the crime side, it seems. I like it. I'm digging it. I think I just have to have a soft spot for everything that doesn't toe the societal line. There's a power in numbers that can manifest in rather awful ways. Step out of line, you lose out on that power. If the majority thinks they're losing that power, that you're a threat. Oh boy, watch out, bucko. It's a sad state of affairs and we need to change it. Minorities, revolutionaries, murderers, all equally oppressed, looked down upon by the world. That's a hell of a comparison. Really makes you think. Society, huh? We sure do live in one, easy. Crazy stuff. Okay, I admit that may not have been my most salient point. Between you and me, I forgot that I had to prepare a little conversation for when the scene ended, so I've kind of just been winging it. But there's something in there, I think. Good point, buried in the rough. Ah well, life goes on. Life goes on indeed. Got some chips out of it. Where's my mouse? There we are. We sure did. Goody! Goody, goody, goody. That was interesting. This is our Duat Inner Workings episode. And it was quite interesting indeed. Marduk kind of gives me older Big Boss vibes in a way. Or at least Metal Gear villain vibes. Striving for a greater, more philosophical ordeal than simply money and power. And it also raised the question of who is the person who shares Marduk's vision but won't join the Duats. Maybe I'll make that the poll question since we haven't gotten a new bed in some time. Maybe. We'll see. Till next time, though. Until then, thanks for watching.